I'm going to give everybody a few seconds to get in. I've definitely missed y'all. We had a busy week last week, but everything turned out good. And so now we're back. Now we are back to our lives. I just had to take last week off just to get everything ready for the graduation because it was a couple of things I like to plan, but I don't know. I just wanted things to be good, and they did. They turned out good. Everybody came. It was awesome. We're 3 and 3 now. Three daughters. All three graduated, so we're feeling pretty good. So I'm going to give everybody a couple more seconds to get um, logged in on YouTube and Instagram. Welcome you all. I definitely wanted to come on here because I have I have this happening in my garden right now with our plants looking a little bit strange, but I want to talk to y'all about the difference between if it's just hot, because this week we are going to get, I think, 100 degrees. And when I say 100 degrees, that's just the 100 degrees. That does not mean what the heat index is going to feel like, because right now on my thermometer, the heat index right now is 104. I know y'all can see like the sun just beaming in. So we're going to have a very hot week this week. And that's normal for here in coastal Georgia, especially around Memorial Day. It always, from now up until about August, we are about to get ready to feel it. So welcome everyone. Thank you all so much for tuning in with me today. We're back on our regular program schedule. If everything goes good, we go live Mondays at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and then we also go live on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go ahead and get a couple of housekeeping out the way, and we're going to get started with why our plants look a certain way. I just want to talk to you about different signs to look for, so that if you know it's just hot or it's on the way out. It's just, and like I said, I got one that is hot and looks this way, and then I got one I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull it because I know it's gone, and I'll talk to you about that in just a second. So as always, y'all, please make sure you like and share this video. If you know someone who wants to start gardening, who is getting into gardening, make sure you share it. We're so excited. I am, because now I finally got a group of gardening friends to talk to about all things gardening. So what we try to do is, instead of just looking at the pictures and saying you want to start a garden, what we're trying to do is we're trying to help you create that garden, but we want to just fast track you a little bit so that you don't get discouraged and you can definitely get your garden going. Hello, Shirley. How are you? Again, if you want to know when we're going live, when we have specials, make sure you text the word Let's Grow, LETSGROW, to 474747. Text Let's Grow to 474747. I always send out a text, let you know when we're going to go live, and sometimes we put little coupon codes in there and give away, some free gardening advice as well. If you have not downloaded the 5 Tips to a Flourishing Garden on Instagram, click the link in our bio. Go ahead and download that. That is going to fast track you to everything you need to know. And then on YouTube, I'll make sure that I put that in the description. And if y'all are not following us on Instagram, make sure you do. Also, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, because this week I'm going to show y'all the roselle. Y'all, the blooms are so pretty because it's part of the okra family. So the blooms are very pretty. And then we still have seeds for sale. I'm going to the post office after this. We do have limited quantities, but since our daughter graduated, I'm going to give you a coupon code that you can use to get 15% off of not just the roselle seeds, but all the seeds that we have on our website. So I want y'all to use the coupon code GRAD, GRAD 2021. Put that coupon code in, and you will automatically get a 15% discount on everything that is on the website. That includes our ebooks, that includes our seeds. Just put the code GRAD 2021 in the just make sure you put it in there. Thank you so much. It was a very nice graduation. What I will tell y'all is I probably will social distance just a little bit more, but it was really nice. And I'm just glad that was I'm just like, just let me get it over. Just let me get it over, because the days coming up to it, that's when stuff really starts to get real. But it was very good, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed our family down as well. We had a really good time with everyone, and guess what? We sent some people home. What did I tell y'all that have been on my lives, honey? They are gonna take this garden tour whether they want it or not. And then we sent some of our family home with some herbs, with some flowers, and I was supposed to give some okra seeds to my stepmom. So my daughter is going back up this week, I think tomorrow. So I'll send them by her, just so she could go ahead and get them planted. But we had an amazing time, and everybody. Now my mom was like, "Okay, I'm about to go in now. You gonna come out here and you gonna get the garden?" Because I had to show her little bed of purple hull peas that we are planting for her, and she was like super excited about that. Um, and they are growing good. So thank you so much. Welcome everyone. So I'm not gonna be out here very long. Although I got a lot to do, I really do. I got a lot to do, y'all, in this garden. But everything's going good. Don't ever feel like you're overwhelmed. Like I tell people, do what you can, and the rest don't worry about it. That's my new motto. Do what you can, and the rest don't worry about it. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get yourself, just all worked up. Do what you can. Hello, Yankee sister. How are you? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was definitely great. So I wanted to talk to y'all today because, again, for all of you who are just joining, it is starting to get really hot. And a lot of our plants, you will see, they look like they are wilting, like they are about to kick the bucket. And so when you see plants like that, I just want to give y'all a few tips of what I do. And again, like I said, I do have one that's I know is gone, so I'm pulling it. But I also have some that is really nothing wrong, and I forgot to go in the storage and show y'all what I use, but I will talk about it here. So depending on where you're at, especially for Snowman said it's so hot outside today. Yes, because our temps are, especially with the heat index, we're probably going to see triple digits here. But a lot of times, and just depending on where you're growing, that's why I always tell people when you're first starting, make sure you know how that sun hits where you're going to plant. It doesn't matter if it's a raised bed, if it's a container, whatever. We have some intense heat here. So although a lot of our plants say full sun, 6+ hours of full sun, we got some intense heat here, and a lot of it will start to make the plant look like it's wilting, like it's about to start to die. Like you will go out here, like I'm looking at my yarrow right now, and I also have yarrow. I have the pineapple sage, and it's a third one that I'm looking at over here. Come on, come to me, come to me. The blanket flower. So all of those they tell you full sun, they tell you 6 hours a day. But we have some intense heat here. And so like now all the way up until about 4 or 5, they look like they're on their way out because that sun is just hitting them so hard that the leaves are starting to wilt. It does not mean that it's not watered well, because every morning we have a timer set that waters to the root. So it's not that it's not that it needs water, because it doesn't. And the way I do this is I stick my hand down in the soil. I go to about right here, which is probably about 2 inch. No, that might be 1 inch, maybe 1 inch. Okay, that might be 1 inch. So I stick my hand probably like either to the first right here or to the knuckle, and I feel down, and it's wet. So it doesn't need, it's not that it is dry, it's just that the sun is so intense that it is wilting. But I want to give you another example. Like I have a tomato plant that I'm going to have to pull because it's not the sun, it has a disease. And I don't know if you all have heard of this, but it's called fusarium wilt. And that's a disease that a lot of the tomato plants get. And if you check around that plant and it's still moist, the soil is still moist, and the other plants around it are fine, and then it just will not. So this is what I want to tell you, it just will not bounce back. Now, for the plants that I told you that during the hottest part of the day, they look like they're on their way out. Normally, the evening time, you'll see them bounce back. You'll see the leaves come back. Everything is back to normal. So this is letting me know, okay, the sun is really intense on these plants. And so it's causing them to look like that. But then towards the evening, first thing in the morning, they're back to their selves. So I know that's not, it's nothing, it's the sun that's doing that. But my tomato plant, it'll start off with a little bit of wilt. And I was watching it because I was saying, oh, please just let this be the sun. But I have two of the same tomatoes that are around the plant that are in that area. They're doing great. They're starting to get tomatoes on. So I started seeing one side, and I was like, just let it be the sun. But now, and after this, I'll put a picture and put it on. I'll put it on the community tab in YouTube, and on Instagram I'll put it in my stories. Like, we're gonna have to pull it because it's starting to wilt, and more of the plant is wilting. It's getting water, and then now the leaves are starting to turn yellow. So this is letting me know this is not the sun. It's not the sun. This is fusarium wilt that is taking over this plant. And so when you have that, like I tell people, especially now, sometimes you just got to make a decision and just pull it. And the only thing you could do is pull it. And then that's why you have to look for varieties. Like, sometimes they have varieties. If you look on the back of the package, or if you look on the website, it'll say it was bred to, combat certain diseases and certain pests and certain fungus. A lot of them are bred so that they can withstand the fusarium wilt, and so that they can withstand things like powdery mildew. So I know a lot of people think that it's something that they're doing wrong, but it's not, because like I said, both the other tomato plants, they are doing great. It just happens. And so you just have to say, you know what, that's okay. We're just going to pull it, and we're just going to keep going. Now, let's go back to the ones that we were talking about when we were saying during the heat, the most intense part of the day. They just look so weary. My echinacea plants does that too, but they come right back. So some things that I'm going to do, and it depends on how big of a space that you're working in, but one of the most things that I like to do, especially when it gets so hot and the sun is intense, is you can use a shade cloth during the hottest part of the day. And what you could do, you could get like just if so let's just say it's a raised bed, like a 4x4 raised bed. So you can get two pieces of like PVC pipe, or we have like the wire, two pieces of wire, and just make it like a U shape and put it down in the soil. Get you some shade cloth. They sell it at the big box stores. You can order it online, and use that. And that's going to help the plant stay like really cool or cooler during the hottest part of the day, and just kind of help it from, the sun. Just like, when I tell you, like, this sun, can y'all see it right here? The sun is on my forehead, okay? And it's like beaming in. It's like, beam me up, Scotty. And so that's what the plants are feeling too. The same thing I'm feeling on my forehead, that's what the plants are doing. But guess what? The plants are out here all day long feeling that intense heat. So that's why you can get you some shade cloth. Okay, the stay at home mom, yes, you could use burlap. So yeah, if you have some burlap around the house, you just make like a makeshift. Now, I'm not telling y'all to go and like, get a PVC pipe. You don't have to spend a lot of money. If you want to, if y'all got some sticks or something that can just hold it off the plant a little bit, but still can provide that shade. Because, sometimes we have to work with what we have around the house, then do that. But it's just going to provide, they're still going to get the sun. They're still going to, grow. But just during the hottest part of the day, when you see those plants and those leaves, dropping and drooping and looking hot, just provide them a little bit of shade, because this is the thing for us in the southern zones. I know a lot of people say that you know, our now we're going into where we're doing our tomatoes and cucumbers and eggplants, and I know that they love sun. Yes, those types of vegetables, they love sun, but a lot of times when it gets over 90 degrees, our tomatoes will slow growth. They'll start slowing down, because what I will tell you is we do start them now, and they'll slow down a little bit midsummer. But I'm gonna tell y'all, we when the weather starts to cool just a little bit, like starting in September, that's when we get our best crop of tomatoes, and they go all the way until like November for us. So yes, these plants like sun, but sometimes that intenseness of the sun, like it can really just weigh on them. And that's right, okay. White sheets works great too. Yes, our sun is like fire here in Texas. Exactly, the stay at home mom. Same here. Like it is intense, and we're getting triple digits this week. So I know that I'm going to like provide a little bit of shade during the hottest part of the day, and then once it starts to simmer down, I'll come and take it off. But if you make like a little makeshift something, that way it'll be easy for you to like roll back and put back on, and always keep up with what the weather is going to look like. But I just wanted to talk to y'all about sometimes that when you see your plants and you're doing right, you're keeping them watered, you're keeping them fed, and you can just look out and say, what is going on with that plant? And so that's why I say, just, I don't know what everyone's watering method is. Now, what I will tell you is, since it's hot, I have to water my smaller containers twice a day. I do it in the morning, I do it in the evening, because I want you to remember, the smaller the container, if you're doing container gardening, the more you'll probably have to water versus some of the bigger containers. So some of my herbs that we have, I do them twice a day. So you have to, just because you look outside and see that they're like looking a little weary, a little drooped, it doesn't mean that they're on their way to die, okay? It just means it. And that's why I say, take your hand, go down in the soils, make sure it's wet, and just keep an eye on it. And like I said, with our tomato plant, I kept an eye on it for about 4 days, and then I started to notice more and more and more it's starting to wilt. And I said, no, that's not from the sun. That is Fusarium wilt, and it happens. It's nothing that you did. And so I know a lot of people like heirloom. A lot of people like certain type of plants. But what I will tell you is we grow both, but a lot of times some of the varieties of tomatoes and different, I mean, even flowers, some of the varieties of flowers, herbs, and vegetables are bred so that some of the common pests and common diseases and funguses that we deal with, they're bred to kind of combat that. Because you have to keep them, you have to check every day. And so that's what I was doing like twice a day. I was checking, keeping my eye on it. And so, like I said, I'll make sure I take a picture, but I was like, no, I'm going to have to pull it. And that's why I always say, don't think I don't have something for, for that space. So I'm just going to put something else in that space, see how it does. Just see how it does, because sometimes it could be just the plant that just had that the disease. Because we have the same variety, they're doing great. They're getting tomatoes, they're looking good, they're getting more of the blooms, and that's okay. But I just wanted to share that with y'all, because I don't want you to think that it's something that you're doing, or it's something that you did wrong. It just happens. But if you do see any plant that starts to wilt, I just encourage you to make sure that you just keep an eye on it for the next few days. Just make sure it is moist, especially during. Now you don't want to like oversaturate it. So what I do is so that I'll know how long I need to keep our irrigation on. So I'll run it for a few hours, see how much is saturated up. We'll do that. And then like I'll come out in the evening and check it as well, because you don't want to put like too much water in there. But I can't tell you the exact amount, because we got some northern gardener friends as well that they don't need as much water like we do, because I know that once it really heats up this week, I may have to keep, the irrigation on for like maybe 2 hours as opposed to 1 hour. And it also depends on if you have soaker holes, if you have the drip irrigation, how, the distance between each of the holes. So you have to kind of just watch the plant and determine that. But if you see it wilting, you do want to check the moisture level, because sometimes that's what it could be. But if your moisture level is right and you notice that the plant bounce back in the evening as the day, as the sun, just moves away, if you notice it's bouncing back and then in the morning it's totally fine, then the plant is okay. If you don't want to do shade cloth, it's totally up to you. But so it'll just do the same thing every day. But I do, like on some of my plants, I do like to put a little shade cloth on there to, um, just to protect it from that intense heat. But I can't. So I'm saying that because I can't shade cloth. I can't shade cloth the whole garden right now unless I get someone to get me some of like the poles that you know how you put up out the ground, like maybe do that, and then they'll have to do like 4 or 6 or 8 just of the tall poles, and then just make like if you see at some of your local garden centers, like just a long shade cloth that I'll just have to like put together. So I can't do that, but some of the plants that I know that will benefit from being kind of in the just having a little shade, I'll do that for them. Let me tell y'all about these birds. Y'all, I have had to knock on my window I don't know how many times, and they just don't even acknowledge me anymore when I come out. They have had very good breakfasts this morning. They've had lots of blackberries and lots of blueberries, okay? Because I still have yet to go and get my bird netting and put on. But I'm gonna do it every time I sit. Like, I'm looking at the birds right now, and they're so slick with it. Like, they'll stop and then they'll look around, and if y'all hear them, they're making their bird calls. And then I'm gonna go through some of the questions because they have, it used to be birds like fly away when they see the humans out. Now, right now, what they're doing is they're saying, "Hey, we have someone out here, so don't go dip down on the blueberries because she'll run you away." But I'm going to get my bird netting. I mean it. I mean it, because I was able to eat a few blackberries and they were so good, y'all. And I was able to put a few of the blueberries in my smoothie. Now, the strawberries, they have, I think that's the squirrels. They have totally like ate them. Like, I was waiting for them to get right, but they've totally eaten them. So I just go out and you can see where they just took the whole thing and they just ate it. Like I told y'all, I don't mind sharing, but come on, y'all, don't take them all. Yesterday my impatiens were looking super sad. This morning they were fine, but I water anyway. Can you tell me the milk formula for powdery mildew my cucumbers? Okay, so yes. And see, that's your indicator. I'm glad you put that in there. That's your indicator that they just look sad. Now, do you have the sun patience or do you have the New Guinea impatiens? But because I know the New Guinea impatiens, they love like part shade, because you'll see those stems like start to flop over. But if notice in the morning or later on that they're okay, you're fine. It's not like a disease or a fungus. It's just the intense heat. And if it's watered good, then you're fine. The milk formula that I use for powdery mildew, I just do like half milk and half water. I don't make it difficult. I know it's a formula for it. Spray it on like a couple of leaves just to see. But I just do half, like if I do a half a cup of water, I'm just going to do a half a cup of milk and, shake it up and put it on there, and that do it on a couple of leaves, and then come back if it's okay, spray it. You may have to do 2 or 3 sprayings, but you'll start to see where it should come back for you for the powdery. And cucumbers is known, depending on what variety. That's why I say certain varieties they continue to make, because they know we have these problems with certain diseases, certain funguses. But cucumbers is definitely known. Cucumbers and spinach known for that powdery mildew. So just do a half and half solution of that. I know the feeling. Yeah, it's crazy with these birds. I fed them grubs yesterday as a piece. Well, we're about to pull our the last of the collars, and it's, pest pressure. I'm looking at the worms on there, so I'm like, instead of you on my blueberries, go eat some of that. Go eat some of the worms. Do that. You got plenty of food there. Help me out. It's supposed to be, a system where we're all working together. You get worms, you get your food, you're good. But I think that the berries, and I'm not gonna lie, the blueberries and the blackberries, are really good this year. I'm like, can you save me enough at least for a couple of blackberry pies? Will you please? Okay, so they took your strawberries too. Yep. Gosh, we got to put bird netting on there. Yeah. And I hate to pull the bird netting all out a lot of times because somebody did point this out. It does. It gets tangled, so you have to have enough space to kind of get it out and get it right and get it on there and clip it together. And I didn't want to do it. I was willing to share, but now they're just like, they will not go away. They won't, and they will not eat those worms. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to stop y'all before you eat. What about ants? I have a problem with ants too. And what I will tell you is that somebody said put grits down, and I did. It didn't work. It did not work for me. Now, somebody else told me if you have more than one, and I haven't tried this, if you have more than one ant bed, take some ants from one bed and then another and like switch them and put them up because I guess they fight. I have a I don't have a huge problem with ants, but I have a in one of my raised beds, it's just like they have a mound, and I've tried to put diatomaceous earth on there. And then I've also tried to do the grits, and so my next one is the um, taking two ant mounds and just like, taking my little tool like this, take that and put some ants over there, and take some and put them there and see what they do. They're showing up over here big time. Yep. Clear. Okay, so the stay-at-home mom put clear forks in the garden for the squirrels. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. And that's what I was telling my stepmom with the squirrels. I know that they bother my garden a little bit, but not as much as I hear some of y'all say y'all have a problem with the squirrels. But the only reason why I think is because we have an acorn tree. And so they take the acorns, they dig them, and then the little sprouts come up. So I think they like the acorns, but if they get tired of them, and want a little dessert, then they'll go bother some of my stuff. Okay. They'll go bother some stuff. So I'm going to go through the chat here over on YouTube and answer some of the questions because I know it came up. Hello, everyone. When is a good time to grow purple hull peas? I've started when it gets hot. They love the heat. They love, love, love the heat. We just planted our purple hull peas about 2 weeks ago. Great germination rate. They're sprouting. They're actually starting to get the true leaves on there. But the peas they love that hot weather. Now that's why I encourage people, if you stay in like some real hot zones, your peas are good because we do black eyed peas, and I did the purple hull peas for my mom. And then today I'm going to go ahead and put my green beans on the little trellis that goes up so that they can trellis up because I'm super excited for all of the, I don't know, I just do this every year. I'm like, I'm ready for cucumbers and tomatoes and all of that, and then I'm like, I'm ready for my lettuce. I wish I could grow them all at the same time, but yes, we are definitely going to do the purple hull peas are definitely, they love that heat. So if you have them now and frost has passed for where you're at, Yankee sister, because I think you are 6A. I think you put it in here. You say you were 6A. Yeah, 6A Connecticut. So if all danger of frost has passed, then you should be good to go with going ahead and planting them. We're up to 99 degrees here in zone. Okay, we're in the same zone 8B, 99 degrees. I just looked outside. It said 104. I think that's like the heat index, but it's going to get in the triple digits this week. I know it. So that's why I thought about y'all. And I was like, I don't want people to think that their plant is on the way of dying. I don't want them to think that it's not them. It's this intense heat, and I mean it's intense. And that's why you see at a lot of garden centers and stuff like that, if you look up, you'll see they have that shade cloth on because it's just It's crazy. It's a lot of heat. Um, if I don't use tap water at all, I will go get it pond or river water before I use tap water because my plants don't get disease. Okay, so you go use the pond and the river water, and that's why. Let me tell you, I love when it rains, and I think we're supposed to have a 30% chance, like maybe Thursday, because if y'all notice, I don't know about y'all, but every time it rains, when I tell you this garden just like, it's like, oh my gosh, it comes alive when it rains. That's why I love rain. I love seeing when it's about to rain because I know my garden is about to shine now. So I can definitely understand that with the tap water. Reconnect for me. Um, any beans? Yes, we're gonna plant green beans this year. We're planting green beans. I hope y'all are back. We had just our internet has really been acting very strange. Amazed. Like I was amazed myself, and I actually had someone to come back, one of the farmers, and she was like, "Your germination rate is excellent." I told y'all if I always want to try stuff, whatever it is, before I suggest it. I'm serious because I don't want to steer y'all wrong. I don't want to uh, sell you anything. I don't want to suggest anything unless I have tried it first. I'm so glad to hear that. Fertilizers for my flowers and herbs. Okay, so first we do the dry release fertilizer, the plant tone. We'll put that in there, and then like depending on what flowers it is. So if it's a flower that always that has a lot of blooms and need those vitamins and nutrients, then we will do it's Spoma Grow. It's a liquid organic fertilizer. Now this is the one we have. This one is for our garden, like the garden organic garden. Like if I have all the flowers that I have in the garden, they don't get the bloom booster like my containers in the front, like the ones like we have the supertunias in the front, and then we have the calibrachoa, but they're not near the food that we eat. So I will put what's called a bloom booster on those. That's it. But for the flowers that we intermix in our vegetable garden, we put the Espoma Grow. And I'm trying to find it because today, y'all remember, Monday is my day to fertilize, but I'm gonna have to do it this evening. Um, but I will. It's by Espoma and it's called Grow, Espoma Grow, and it's a liquid fertilizer. It's organic, so that's what we use. Like every other week, I will go in and I will use that. Now, when my tomatoes and things like that start fruiting, that's when I may go in a little bit more because I want to give them that vitamin, those nutrients to really not stop growing. For my herbs, believe it or not, for the herbs, because herbs are like most of them don't fruit or flower. So I always start with plant tone again, the slow release fertilizer. I'll put a little bit of that in there, but I don't really fertilize them like I do my flowers and vegetables because um, sometimes, and I was reading this with the stevia that we're growing, like if you put too much nitrogen on the stevia, you can change the taste of it. So for the herbs, I'll do the slow release fertilizer when I first plant it, and then maybe um, it's not often, I will tell you, that I'll come in with the grow, still the Espoma Grow, and give it a little bit of the liquid fertilizer. So I would say about in the summertime I'll do that because I know it's about to get ready to take this heat here. But I really don't fertilize my herbs a lot. Not like I do like the flowers and the vegetables. They don't get a lot of fertilizer. I hope that helps. I really do. I hope that helps. Are crazy this year. The came the mealy bugs. Oh yeah. Yep. Let me tell you, summertime is when the pests. That's why I tell people I like to fall and spring garden because summertime the pest pressure is something else. And you're right, spray in the evening. And what you're doing the right thing. If you want to, you can do is it Dr. Bonner's, or you could get the insecticidal soap, you may have to do it more than one time, but that's when you really have to stay on it in the summer. I don't know where they come from. I guess they like sleep. I don't know. Maybe they just chill out during the fall and the winter, and then they just wake back up and just get started. Because I was clearing out one of the raised beds, and y'all know we just put that in last year, and I was like, where are these grubs coming from? I mean, big, big grubs. I was like, okay, we're not gonna do that this year. We're not doing that from y'all this year. I'm sorry over on YouTube. I don't know what is going on. But hello, Donnie. Every time I look at Growing with Donnie, y'all make sure y'all like and share for me. Make sure you share this video and like it. I would definitely appreciate it. I'll be in and out, but I had to come. The hurricane season is about to start. Now, I don't want any hurricanes this year. Lord, I don't want any. No hurricanes, but I'm just saying, Georgia does get lots of rain, and I love it. I do. I love the thunderstorms. That's a time where I tell people sit down, and just I know off subject, but want you to know, I found the 8-quart bag. Good. Is that Betty? Hold on. Is it Betty or Betsy? Y'all, I gotta figure. Okay, Betty. I'm so glad. And let me tell you. Okay, so y'all know I tell you right now, my favorite soil is Pro Mix, and I've been having to go to the Walmart that's like 45 minutes to an hour away. But guess what, Betty? I was in the garden center here the other day, and I could not believe it because they had a little pallet that was sitting over there with the compressed Pro Mix. I said they must have heard me. Somebody must have heard me. So y'all know I just gotta go. I don't know why. I just gotta go get some because I know I'm gonna be doing a container garden